So you
Yeah.
guys, happy Monday. We got Jenny Dean, the cat queen, and I don't mean reproductively in heat. Yeah, my friend Jenny. I love her very much, and she is a wealth of knowledge. She's gone down a crazy holistic cat journey with her cats, and she has multiple platforms, so you can catch her on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. And she actually even is paid to review products. So Jenny, you were one of the original cat influencers, I think.
I guess I don't think, when it started, I didn't think of it as an influencer. And depending on who I talk to, like, if they ask, what do you do? I will say I have a website about cats. If it's usually an older person that's not familiar with a lot of the newer terms. Um, and then typically it's usually like I have a cat blog, or I will say that I'm an influencer to like younger kids. Because
Yeah, it's a
I,
weird, it's a weird thing, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it
I,
is.
I was offered a free ticket to Feed Real because I'm an influencer. I'm like, what? That's so weird.
It is. I think, what I prefer to say is content creator because I don't know. It sounds egotistical to say that I'm an influencer. So I don't like that word at all.
The way I see influencers are like mega followers, and
Yes.
so I don't consider myself an influencer. I just like knowledge, and if people want to ride along with me, I'm good with that. And if they don't, I'm good with that too.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you do all sorts of fun things on your pages. You interview people, you assess products, you go down you like video your daily challenges or your cat info. And so you have some really cute things too about kittens. So I'm a
Yeah.
fan. I'm a fan.
I think you comment the most on TikTok than anybody else. TikTok is my least preferred platform, so I am not on there very often. But when I go on, it's Poppy Phillips, Poppy Phillips.
I'm trying to up your algorithm, girl.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you could comment
Um,
on mine.
I
Thanks,
yes,
Jenny. It's all one-sided.
I could give back like that. Poppy asked if who this was in this painting, and her name is Maria Felix. And I purposely positioned myself like this tonight because I want to return to what fires my soul. And I have gotten away from that by letting things on Instagram or TikTok tell me I need to get more influencers and or more views, more comments, even having brands tell me that. And it's so draining of my vibrational energy. And so this painting represents a time in my life where I was driven by what my heart wanted, what my heart desired and craved and needed, which was my college years. And I studied Mexican American women, specifically artists and authors and stuff like that. And I went to a Chicana book fair down in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and this painting was hanging there. And I couldn't get it out of my head. I wanted it. I couldn't afford it. I had told my dad about it. And I messaged the author or the artist of it shortly after I got back. 'Cause I live in Kansas City. And she said it was sold. And I still couldn't get it out of my head. Like I thought about it and thought about it, thought about it. It just spoke to me. And that's where I want to go from here on out is anything that speaks to me. That's what I want to follow. But long story short, I even told her, she told me that a man had bought it. And I said, I know that this is ridiculous, but is there any chance if I wrote a letter to this man, would you give it to him so that if he died, he would leave the painting for me? Like I couldn't
Seriously.
stop thinking about it. Yes. And she was like, sure. Um, So my birthday rolled around and I unwrapped this, and my dad was the person that had bought it, and he bought it for me.
Oh, how special is that? That's
Yes,
so sweet.
I know. So
Oh,
anyway, I burst into tears, but I was on a call with a tech company the other day, working on something for Floppy Cats, and we got off on this tangent about Chicanos and Chicanas, and I was like, oh, I should show you this painting that I have. And so anyway, I just started thinking about all of that because I've already been on this trajectory anyway. And I was like, yeah, there's no coincidence that that conversation came about. And, I'm supposed to be reminded of what my soul wants, what my heart wants. So that's the reason I'm positioned like this. But the
okay. So
reason,
what does your soul and your heart want? Because being a pet content creator is super stressful.
yes, and that's what I'm talking about. It's like you start focusing on things that don't like they matter to the algorithm, they matter to like brands and money and all that kind of stuff, but they don't really matter to you. Like I don't feel better going to bed at night with all of that going on. And I think you can easily get sucked into that, like in anything in life, and get caught up in it. And I have, and I need to get away from that because one of the things when you called me last week to ask me to do this, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? And who wants to listen to it? Like, what?
There's
Um,
very little info about cats, Jenny.
so I started thinking about my journey, like, um, so how Floppy Cats started was an uncle of mine. I have a master's in Spanish and um, and a master's in liberal studies, and I studied. Obviously, that's part of that journey. I had no idea what I wanted to do in life after I graduated with my master's in Spanish, and I met with my uncle, who asked me what my three favorite things were, and it was Rags, my living cat at the time, and the reason I founded Floppy Cats, and then ice cream and field hockey. And he was like, "You're never going to make money doing any of those things." And now I coach high school field hockey and I have a website about cats. But I'm the kind of person that you tell me I can't, and then it's motivating me to do it. So I did that. But
Now,
I started out
what year was Floppy Cats starting?
um 2008.
Okay,
So it's
so
been
you've been at this
17.
a long time.
Yes. But never with like a solid plan. It was always like, I'll do this on the side and see what happens. But when you follow your passion, that's what ends up being the most successful. So, um, yeah, one of the questions that you had sent me was something like, how long have I loved cats? My Aunt Nikki got a ragdoll cat when I was 6 years old, and his name was Halston, named after the designer. My Aunt Nikki had gone to New York for design school or something like that, and she really loved Halston. So, um, I love this cat to death. He was the coolest cat. He lived with like 5 or 6 German shepherds. Um, and he would lick your face and take treats from your hand and shake your hand. Like he was awesome. So I started begging my parents for a cat. And my dad had told me, or I told my mom, when they got married, we can have dogs, but I refuse to have cats. I hate cats.
And
So,
here's the cat crazy daughter. Well, Halston.
yes.
Halston was unique though.
Yes, he was. It's funny because we have a girl on our field hockey team named Halston this year, and it's just like it's funny how things come full circle. That I'm like, how can like the Halston cat name be on the field hockey team with the three favorite thing, anyway.
And what
So
about ice cream, by the way?
I still eat it and make my stomach hurt, but
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not. I've not done anything with it.
You got 2 out of 3.
Yes. I have thought of doing an ice cream website though, but I almost think it'd have to be vegan. Anyway, so
I would
I
buy
didn't get,
from that.
my mom had her parents give me my first cat so that she wouldn't get in trouble with my dad, and that my dad couldn't get mad at them. Um, that cat died of FIP 2 years old. And
Oh, how old were
yeah,
you?
uh, he died when I was 10, and we got him when I was 8.
That's so traumatic.
It was awful. I went on a school field trip for like a week into the wilderness or whatever. And when I came back, my mom was like, we have to go say goodbye to Skittles. I named him Skittles, because he's very sick and he's dying. And I was like, what? Um, so that was very traumatic, but I was thinking about that today too, that like how quickly a child can recover from grief compared to like how much longer it takes an adult. And that I was reflecting on that today, thinking about this conversation. But then we got Rags and Cosby, and Cosby was Rags's half brother, died at 10 and a half months old from FIP. And at the
No,
time,
no,
yeah,
again.
yes,
And you've
yes,
only had rag dolls.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So at the time, the vet was like, well, Rags has been highly exposed to FIP. Um, he'll never get it. And he was right. So Rags lived until 19 and a half. So I had him from
Oh.
10 until 29.
So he had natural immunity.
I don't know. And I don't know how it works or like if it works correctly or like if how the vet said it at that time. Cause that was 1989.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will just, it's nice to meet you. And I'm just
Oh, hi
listening
there.
over here as a voyeur without my camera on because I've been doing barn chores. But um, I will say my vet has a similar mindset about feline leukemia, actually. So yeah, we rescue, feral kitties for our horse barn. And so I had one that showed up and she was very, very sick and feline leukemia. I had one vet tell me, put her down, and I found the local vet who his wife does feline leukemia rescue, and they gave me a
Wow.
wealth of information. And I said, "What about my other cats?" And they said, "None of your other cats are kittens; they're all adults. And separate. Offer them multiple water bowls, food bowls, litters, etc. I mean, they're indoor, outdoor kitties because they were feral once. Now they're all friendly, but one." um, but none of my other cats. So that kitty lived 5 amazing years by treating her and giving her the right stuff. And she eventually did pass because of the she had anemia from the feline leukemia, but and it was very quick and it was just time. But I had my other cats then retested after she passed just to see did that hold up, and none of them were positive. So
Wow.
I think I mean, that's a pretty tricky one, but I mean, I do vaccinate our barn kitties if I do, teach them to be friendly and indoor at night. They
Do you
go and they get,
vaccinate, Mary, or do you no sew them?
no, I do vaccinate my kitties. Yep. And I don't vaccinate for everything anymore, Poppy, but they get initial. It's like I treat a feral cat like it's a kitten, and they get their initial stuff and their boosters because I don't know what their life was before they landed on my farm.
Yeah.
And then they'll get rabies every 3 years because they are literally hunting all the time, right? And they get in fights and whatever. And so, but I don't do all the vaccinations. But I did do feline leukemia for the other cats because then they had a booster and they had their initial because I had this kitty with feline leukemia, and they are healthy. They never did contract it, and they're still living. And, she had a great life while we could keep her healthy. And so I don't continuously vaccinate Poppy. Does that help? I do the initials and the boosters like we do in
Yeah.
humans. Go figure.
Yeah. And
I
I
do
did
keep
my
rabies
barn
going.
cat, but I
Yeah.
do give her rabies. Like I'll put a rabies no sode in the water, but it gets drunk by skunks and
Yes.
and everything else.
I
Rabies
hadn't
no
thought
sode
about
for all.
I haven't done the no-sodes with the kitties, but it's an interesting thought. My one cat, I have an orange cat, and they are so different, aren't they? They're awesome, but he gets in fights about once a week, and I'm just so worried he's going to run past something with rabies that he
Just
gets his
no
shot.
sode in the water, Mary. You're groovy.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, Miss Jenny. So you have floppy cats, which mean ragdolls, which are
Yes, it was based on
gorgeous,
ragdolls at the beginning.
and they're
Yeah.
gorgeous designer cats.
I
You,
don't think of them as designer, but
they
yes,
are. They're
I
super
know.
designer. They're so cute.
Yeah,
And they have
I
great irises for iridology.
they do. Blue ones.
They do. You don't have to
Yeah.
have much photo skills for ragdolls on iridology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I would think that like yellowy green eyes would be cool on a cat too.
And
For
cats are pretty easy for iridology
yeah.
because you don't need a ton of outdoor, like extra lighting because their eyes are so bright.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
So you're here, you are devastated at 10. You get another one dies. But Rags lives to like 19 and a half. Nobody,
yes.
and he doesn't get FIB.
He.
P.
Yes. So I guess knowing what I know now and looking back, Rags was diagnosed with lymphoma at 15. We went down the chemo route because that's what I knew at the time. And he was given like 4 to 8 weeks to live without any treatment, and then 4 to 8 months to live with treatment. And he lived 3 years with chemo,
Wow.
and died of kidney failure, which I think was probably inevitable from his deli cat dry food that he ate pretty much his whole life.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. We learn by our errors. And I mean,
Yes.
19 and a half years with you. You were a child when you got the
Yeah.
cat, and this cat stayed with you to junior adulthood.
Yes. Yes. I had him those last 3 years. I talked my mom into getting two new kittens, and then once like they were in her house and like settled, then I was like, so can I take him yet? And she was like, fine, you can take him finally. So I had him alone for those last 3 years, which was really special for me.
That's awesome. And
Um,
your dad now has a house full of cats, or
my what?
your dad now loves cats?
Yes, yes. My parents are married, and yes, I mean, I think one of the biggest compliments I ever got from my dad was one night he came in to give me a kiss goodnight, and Rags was on my bed, and he said, "That's the most beautiful animal I've ever seen." And I was like, "Damn straight." He was a good-looking cat, but it was like it just I was like filled with pride, like as if he was saying like I was so beautiful because it like I felt like Rags and I were one.
That's
Um,
hilarious.
yeah.
You probably took that more excited than if he gave you a compliment.
Yes.
You're like, oh yeah, that's my cat.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. My dad was actually with me when we put Rags down, and he was with me when I put Camus down, my parents' cat that passed that I was very connected to. Um, and then I went to see him after my cat Trig passed too, because he was the only family member in town.
Oh, I'm so glad your
Yes.
dad's there for you.
Yes. So he and when we were deciding on whether or not to do chemo on Rags, um my dad told me years later, I was like, Dad, what in the world? Like, why did you spend money on that? And he said it was an investment in your emotional well-being. And he was right.
That's so
He was right.
sweet. Kudos to your dad.
Yes, yes. So before Rags passed, I was diagnosed with a thyroid disease in my early 20s. I'm 46 now. And that when I was reflecting back on like how did I get from like Western medicine to where I am now, I think it really started with that. And I had that disease for 8 years, and I was on anti-thyroid drugs, which is the cats with hyperthyroidism are given methimazole, and that's what I was on. Um, but what I found was, and I was in college or just out, and I had done research papers and written a book about Chicana women, and so I knew how to use the library system really really well. So I had researched Graves' disease, which is what I had. Um, extensively and found out in the UK it was treated differently than it was in the US, but it was a matter of me finding an endocrinologist that would allow me to do that. And because mostly they treat with radioactive iodine or they remove your thyroid. So, and I had seen like acupuncturists and all these holistic people, and they had told me to get off of birth control. But
Oh,
all the Western medicine people were like, birth control is not contributing to this. And now when I talk about it, I'm like, what a moron I was. But I really had no idea. Like I was taught to trust Western doctors, and so that's what I did. And I'm actually seeing
Jenny,
that.
you never did the depot shot?
No,
Yeah,
no, I
no,
like
that,
literally took the pill.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, So long story short, finally went to Mayo Clinic, found a endocrinologist up there who was actually from Edinburgh, and so he was,
Oh, cool.
British trained, and then therefore more willing to keep me on the anti-thyroid drugs. And he was one of the best doctors I've ever been to in my entire life, and he passed away a couple of years ago unexpectedly, and I still cry about it because of what he did for me. And what he did for me was listen to me and let like me as a patient do what I desired to do, which was stay on the anti-thyroid drugs. And he was like, so how long do you want to stay on those? And I was like, 8 years. All of the research papers that I've seen, it's like 8 years is the magic number. And actually, it's my favorite number. Rags was born on 8/8. He's like, who's Rags? One of these like random tangents I go on. And so he allowed it. And 6 months before 8 years was up, I went off birth control and my levels went normal.
Oh,
So for 8 years, I tortured my kidneys, my liver, and my thyroid by staying on the pill.
oh my gosh.
And the
That's
reason I was on the pill was for not because I was sexually active when I was put on it, but because of cramps. Like
crazy.
I had like unbearable cramps.
Oh my gosh.
So yes. So once I went off and the unbearable cramps came back, I said, thank you. You are welcome here.
Oh my God.
Um, so that was really, I think, the beginning of my Western versus holistic and like pay attention, but I'm still learning every freaking day. And so my parents' cat Camus that I mentioned earlier was diagnosed with renal failure in April of 2020, or maybe it was June of 2020, because he missed his annual exam
Due
months
to COVID.
before. Yes, due to COVID. Um, so I was kind of in shock and like couldn't believe that it was happening that fast. I mean, he was like stage 3, 4. He wasn't like stage 1. Um, so that's when I was introduced to ozone therapy and felt like I was thrown in with the wolves on that one. Like I had no time to like really learn it, understand it. It was just, let's go, baby. Um, Nobody in Kansas City was doing it except for a lady out by the airport, which is like 35 minutes away. Um, got him in, and I think like, I mean, he was very lethargic. I didn't think he was gonna live very much longer. And my mom, he was, living with my parents, but I would go over there twice a day to give him fluids and
Now,
whatnot.
how'd you administer ozone? Were you rectal or?
Well, so this I at the time I was still dealing with our the vet that we went to for 20 years, who when my mom brought the cats in for not eating and vomiting, they gave them their rabies shot.
Oh, oops,
Yeah.
sorry.
So that was the end of the line for me. And we switched to a new veterinarian at that time. But I was still trying to convince my mom, we're not going back to the old one. No, no more. Like no, but no, like person in their right mind should give a cat that is sick a
Fighting for its
vaccination.
life. Yeah.
Yes. So our the new vet who was actually like the acupuncturist vet that we were going to anyway, she talked to Margot Roman. And Margot Roman advised on doing ozonated saline and rectal. So I did both, but that the vet out by the airport had to teach me how to do it.
Amazing. And you have
Yeah.
a hummingbird.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. So how did it end up?
He lived, I mean, when we took him in for rectal only, like, and that vet was Dr. Linda Ferris. She's no longer a practicing vet. I think she does help, with at-home euthanasias at like a local place here, but she doesn't do like daily stuff anymore. Um, she started with like I think she did 20, 40, and then 60 mils. So 20 first visit, and then 40 the next visit, and then 60 was like the standard after that, but she built up to it. And after that 20, I was like, Mom, what are we doing? Like this cat, like he's ready to go. And she's like, Jenny, you've made the appointment, you've researched this, like, let's give it a shot. The next day, I was in the like storage part of my parents' basement helping them with something, and he comes walking down there like, "What's up? What are you guys doing down here?" And I'm like, "What? What on earth? What on earth? How in the hell can like some gas create like this turnaround?" Um, so it was pretty miraculous, and it gave me 6 months with him.
That's
Um,
amazing. And
it was,
quality. It gave him quality
yes,
of life.
it did.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. And it,
Dr. Margot Roman's now doing urine microbiome transfers.
oh,
Yeah. So she's taking these kidney failure cats and drawing healthy urine and shooting it into them.
oh my gosh, no, I did not know that.
Yeah. So we'll have to talk to her about it. I think she's gonna jump on a live in maybe December. Yeah.
Ooh. Yes, please ask her about that because I wonder, I know she does the fecal stuff.
Yeah, so she did an experimental cat. She was teaching a class down the road for me at my vet clinic. So I popped over and she had shared that story with me is that she was doing she's not making a habit of it, but there was nothing to lose. So
Right.
it was like, let's just do a urine microbiome transfer. And
Yeah. Huh. I have
should
so many
interview her.
questions right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll talk to you. She'll totally be on here. So you guys, Jenny's my guest pimp too. So she got me Temple Grandin. That
Yeah,
was
no,
fun.
awesome.
Yeah. So Jenny helps me get some crazy great guests. So yeah,
So now you're going to give back with the Margot Roman thing because now I'm really interested in that.
I know. That's what I'm
Huh.
saying. I gotta be your guest pimp now.
Yeah. I wonder what the risks are for the healthy cat. Anyway, all right. Well, um, so ozone like continued to be like even after Camus died, I used it throughout COVID on myself, and then I also used it on Charlie and Trig. Um, Mostly just ozonated saline in their mouth. I didn't do anything sub Q. Um, my cat Trig died last year in June of undiscovered lymphoma. We think I didn't have an autopsy done, but he basically did a 2 week crash course. It was the most awful situation I've ever been in. Um, and I still have lots of problems with that. I'm not fully through that grief process.
Well,
But what I
I'm
learned from
I'm also right there with you. I was really shocked because Jenny had asked me to help on her cat, Charlie, and I was like, what about Trig? Look at his eyes. They look really bad. And I hadn't seen a lot of cat eyes. So I was like, well, maybe just these floppy cats have these black marks on their eyes. Maybe it's a genetic marker. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. No, they were legitimate marks.
Mhm.
And so thank you to Trig. I learned from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a beautiful boy.
Well, and I guess that's a lesson learned too, is that Charlie, so Charlie was had feline hyperesthesia syndrome. He had allergies. He had crazy allergies to fleas. And so Trig was just like my little silent guy. Like he was happy. And I didn't, I mean, now retrospectively, I know what, what the signs were, but Charlie complains when he has a problem. Trig didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So all of my attention always went to Charlie because I kind of just wanted him to be quiet.
Yeah, but
What is the matter?
that's the beauty of iridology for cats, Jenny, because cats don't always say stuff.
Yeah,
Super stoic, but their eyes don't lie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and you guys, Jenny, talk about that hyperesthesia. I always say it wrong.
That's okay. I think I do too.
What is
Um,
that?
so Camus had died, and then Camus had a half brother named Murphy, and they were a bonded pair. And Murphy died of like an idiopathic lung infection. He was a cool cat, and both I'd given fluids to Rags, Camus, and Murphy, but Murphy was a seal mitted with the Blaze. So was Halston. So was Charlie. It's my favorite
Mark.
color pattern. And but they also blazes have a little more fire in them, and they're a little more feisty. So Murphy was a great teacher for me as well, because I thought if I can give Murphy fluids, then I can probably give Charlie fluids. Um, anyway, so point is, Camus dies in December, Murphy dies in June, and I think it was like July 12th, Charlie starts attacking his body. And I'm like, oh my God, when does this hell stop? Like the caregiver fatigue was out of this world. Um, because I also was helping because Murphy had renal failure. So I was still going to my parents' house all the time to take care of him. And Charlie starts attacking his body. So like he'd whip around like as if something had bitten him. Um, just I think he slept like 15 minutes a day. Um, and it'll be like this, like, and then they like, bite themselves really fast. I mean, some end up being like mutilators, and like it's awful. And to like watch everything in this, I'm in a feline hyperesthesia group on Facebook, and I have a lot of PTSD if I see some of these cat videos. Like I'm like, oh my God, I gotta keep swiping. So, um, took him to our vet, the one that we started going to because of Camus. And she's like, Jenny, I've seen like one other case of this in my life, and like it's treated with gabapentin. And I was like, absolutely not. Because the old vet that we went to had told me that they couldn't see Charlie any.
Am I frozen, you guys, or is it Jenny?
It's Jenny. You're good.
Okay. So, Jenny, if you can hear me, you are frozen, and that sucks. So
And never mind the cold anyway.
and also, if you guys
Into
don't
my head.
if you guys don't know, ragdoll cats, they're usually all blue-eyed. That's kind of one of their signature traits, and they're purebreds. So blue-eyed cats, blue-eyed dogs, blue-eyed humans all tend to be more of a lymphatic constitution in iridology. So that just means that they are more immune compromised. They're more sensitive. And Dr. Michael Dim even posted one day that a recessive gene, light colored eyes, or unusual like pink hair coats and things like that tend to be very prone to vaccinosis. So drug sensitivities, flea and tick meds, that you would have more chance of a sensitivity. So you guys pay attention when you have these blue-eyed cats. I don't know about green-eyed cats. That seems to be a little more norm. I don't know. There's a lot of blue-eyed cats because people breed for that. So hopefully Jenny will hop back on here. She is totally MIA. Mary, do you want to hop in and join this combo? I,
Sure.
I
I
can keep
mean,
just talking to
listen, so
myself.
I think well, when worms and kitties, I'm jumping on to a thing I'm dealing with right now. I'm pretty sure now I haven't seen him have the, you can see the tapeworms, but I'm pretty sure we have a cat, one of our barn kitties who has tapeworm, and I try to worm that annually, right? But do you have a good product or food
Well,
that
gosh, this is a great topic to bring Jenny in on because
done it? Yeah.
Jenny's cat passed a bunch of tapeworms on homeopathy.
Oh, I'd love to know what she used. Like I did I did the
She's
one
back.
that you
She's
can
back,
get. Oh,
Mary.
yay.
Okay, so Jenny,
But let
fill
her
us in
finish
on
her.
this
She was
tapeworm
she
thing.
was sharing her hell. I don't know if she maybe she froze for her own sanity so she didn't have to share it with us again. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe probably.
The universe took care of that one for you.
It did.
You got
And then
Yeah.
and Charlie had another fit and came through the room too, meowing. So that was perfect. And we
it.
avoided all of that. Um,
So while
yeah.
you were gone, I talked about how blue-eyed animals are more sensitive and more prone to autoimmune disorders, infections, sensitivities to drug reactions.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. So in iridology, they're considered lymphatic constitution, but even Dr. Michael Dim had posted that blue-eyed animals, or maybe even green-eyed in dogs, um,
Hmm.
are more sensitive to medication than vaccines and anything else. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Huh. Well,
Well, hey,
gabapentin.
isn't there something in blue-eyed humans that they tend to have more sensitivity to different anesthesias too? So there's something genetic there.
I used to be green-eyed and now I'm blue-eyed. So I don't know what happened there. I wish I went back to green, but yeah,
Maybe it's those vegan years.
it may
Uh,
be.
I did that for a minute. It didn't change my brown eyes. But anyway, sorry, off topic.
I want to hear about the
Back to GABA.
tapeworms. Tell us your
Um,
tapeworm story because you are the only person that I know that has passed tapeworms with homeopathy.
Yeah,
well,
I need to know it for one of my kitties.
I don't feel like I did it, but well, and I'm wondering if he has something else going on. Well, can I just complete the gabapentin thing before my
Please
menopause
do,
brain
Jenny.
forgets? Um, I was like, no, I'm not putting this cat on gabapentin. I put him on it for, the last vet, and like my cats were flat as pancakes on the floor. It reminded me of some book I had read about a woman that was in a stroke, that like she understood everything but had no physical ability to move.
I
And
think
that's
trauma
exactly,
patients are like that too.
yeah. I
Hmm.
was like I saw the terror and anxiety in their eyes at the vet, but like they're like, "Oh, they're like look how happy they are." I'm like, "They're not happy. They just can't move." Um so I was like, "No, we can't do that." And then and also on that feline hyperesthesia group, like people were giving ungodly amounts of gabapentin to control their cats, and also like 3 times a day, and I was like, I'm not going to have a life. Like I've not had a life for 7 months because of Camus and Murphy, which I was willing to give up, but like I don't want to be tied to my house because of my cat. And um so that's what led me down like repairing Charlie's gut and finding out like the real causes, or going after the root causes. So then when Trig died, I felt like his parting gift to me was to learn homeopathy because of what it did for, like, one of those days in the 2 weeks that he was dying, a homeopath had suggested I give him sulfur, and it was the best day that he had. But we weren't able to turn him around. So, but it was still just amazing to me, and I really felt like his soul left me with that gift to uncover. So that's when I started working with a homeopath in the UK, that a gal that I met in the feline hyperesthesia group told me about. And it's kind of fun. Like you go through these things and you find these like people that you can relate to, that are on the same mission, that want to get to the root cause, that want to understand it, and don't stop until they do. and
Right.
they're few and far between, but it's pretty exciting when you find them and that they care. So anyway, she found this guy in the UK and we started working together. And I don't remember which one it was, what remedy it was that expelled the liver flukes, but I use a pendulum to figure out what Charlie needs, what supplements he needs, um, twice a day. So twice a day, I change out his supplements, and it started swinging to Adored Beast Rebalancer about 2 weeks before. I'm very spiritual, and so like I believe that I have a lot of help and guidance. Because about 2 weeks before the homeopath suggested, I think it was, I think it's gold. Do you know what the name of that one is, Poppy?
Arum.
It's like, yes,
Spell it.
ARUM or AURUM.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
dear.
and even the homeopath was like I took pictures of him next to like a penny and then posted them on human parasite groups and was like, what are these? Didn't tell them where they were
And you had
expelled
sent
from.
me a photo too. I was like,
Yeah.
Luke's.
Yes. And he was just as shocked. Like he did not expect that to happen. So he's very like he's a classical homeopath, but not like a Nazi about it. Because I've also interviewed a lot of homeopathic veterinarians on Floppy Cats now and realized that there are different mindsets when it comes to it.
There's a ton
Uh,
of different ways to do homeopathy.
yes,
It's just whatever works.
yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was we I didn't think we had liver flukes. I didn't know we had liver flukes. I just knew something had happened to him like the year before he I had him on raw and then he wouldn't touch raw and then he wouldn't touch like cooked um the cooked version of raw and I ultimately like had to succumb to giving him canned food again just so that he would eat properly. Um and yeah, it was all because of I think he got into something outside. It could have been from the raw food,
Oh,
but I don't think
yeah,
so
it
because it was
totally
like
could have
that.
been from the raw food. How
Yeah.
many liver flukes did he pass? Because it just, they are pretty good size. And so
There
typically
was like five.
a cat's liver is probably only like this big. And all those five liver flukes are like folded in there.
Yeah. It
Is
was it was wild. I've told Poppy this, but he I think it was like 5:15 in the morning and I'm not an early riser. He let out this meow that I was like, "Oh my God, he's dying." And I just like shot out of bed like, "What is going on?" and find him in the hallway puking. But not the traditional puke. Like it was like a very violent puke. And then once he puked, I was like, what is that thing? Because it kind of looked like a morel mushroom that someone had like smashed.
it's a
Um,
good
but but a
description.
small, yeah, a small version of it. And I was like, huh, that's weird. Like I wonder if he got into mushrooms outside because I have them in my yard every now and again with lots of rain. And then I don't know, intuitively I was like, maybe I should take a picture of that. I don't know what that is. And then I picked it up and squished it in between my fingers to see what the texture
Oh my
was.
God.
Did you
Um,
treat yourself after?
no. Should I have? Can they? I don't
Yes,
even know.
Yes.
yes.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, so gross.
I thought I pretty much thought it was dead. So
Well, it
I don't
probably
know.
is dead, but who knows what kind of eggs might be on your finger, and then
Oh.
you're like wiping your face and stuff.
So I shouldn't have tasted it. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Poppy's got stories for you of how to clear your system out too. There you
Yeah,
go.
I
I
know myrrh.
Yeah.
Myrrh. Yeah. Um, and then he vomited another one that day. And then it was like 5 or 6 days later, he puked three more.
Oh
wow.
my
Um,
God.
yeah. I was like so excited. I was like, get him out, get him out.
I know.
So
Did
So
did
he
you
feel
just
better?
use 30C and like dose it twice, or it sounds like you use the pendulum to tell you what to do anyway, so I could just do
No,
that.
it said I don't have a good memory. I think it was 30C. I don't think I Jeff Johnson is the guy that I use in the UK. Um GEOFF.
Okay.
I think it was twice a day for 3 days.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Did he feel better? Could you
Yeah, I
see
mean, his
like
appetite, everything changed. It was pretty crazy. He's meowing right now though, so I'm like, what is going on with you today?
maybe you need to do your own liver fluke?
Yeah.
You're probably the hostess with the mostest.
Would you think the flesh would do that or no?
Oh, fleas. Fleas will cause tapeworms, and so
Uh,
maybe it causes, I don't know if it causes liver flukes, but flatworms.
yeah.
Yeah.
So fleas is another thing. That's how Poppy and I started to get to know each other because I had horrible flea problems for 2.5 years, and like I just Charlie had gotten a head trimmer from topical flea meds. And so I knew I couldn't give those anymore. So then I had to figure out natural ways, and all the natural ways weren't working until finally I tried garlic, and that helped. But it didn't matter because Charlie loves, loves, loves to go outside. And so I had to figure out a way for him to go outside. And I was spending so much time like making sure my yard was flea free. I mean, again, was being controlled by this situation in my life, and I didn't want to be tied down to anything. I like literally wanted a cat to enjoy it, and instead it just like ran my life for 2.5 years until this year. We got a flea on February 27th, and I know that because it's my sister's birthday, and
I'm
I
like,
couldn't
dang,
believe it.
you're like flea today. There was some
Yeah,
today.
very, very strange to have fleas in Kansas City in February, like very abnormal. And um, finally ended up talking. Pam of Perfectly Holistic is the person that helped heal Charlie's gut from the feline hyperesthesia. She's amazing. I owe her a huge debt of gratitude for so many things. And I was doing like live Zooms with Pam and this guy that runs Healthy Pot Herbal Labs. And she was like, Jenny, why don't you just have the animal communicator like find out what's going on? Like is there a possum or a raccoon? Like who's bringing the fleas? And I was like, oh, I don't know. But like that's another example that like when you're in the thick of it, like you can't like see the bigger picture. Like it's so helpful to talk things out because that's all it took was it was a flea bag possum living in my tree, and my brothers offered to take care of it. And then my I got on a possum group and was like, hey, how do I rehome a possum out of my tree? And they're like, you can't, that's me. And they're like territorial. And I was like, shit, I can't, hurt one animal to help another. So I reached out to the animal communicator, and the possum left for a week because you can tell from their scat basically. Um, and then it came back, and then it was gone for good.
So the
Um,
animal communicator told the possum to get out.
she said she worked with her guides to get it out of my yard, and like we have not had. I mean, if I have fleas because of saying this out loud, but we have not had fleas since.
I need that
Um,
animal communicator for possums on my farm because of APM. So
For
if you could pass,
EPM, I know we
yeah,
should
right. If I could talk the possums out of my hay
the
barn,
possum.
that would be amazing.
We need the
yeah.
professional possum talker.
Well, I had a raccoon 2 weeks ago, and I we weren't having any flea problems. And but I was like, I just don't want you around because I don't want the possibility of that. Or if you're pregnant, I don't want the possibility of that. And raccoons, they shit around the tree to claim the tree. So like I
Oh, I
knew
didn't
like I
know
was
that.
yeah. So I was picking up its shit every day, and you can tell it's they've got that silvery hair in their poop. So it's pretty obvious when it's a raccoon.
No idea. The things you learn. Wow.
Yeah,
Out
I
of
know.
desperation and need. You're like,
Yes. Yes, that's basically been my holistic journey out of desperation and need. I don't know if I've
Same,
learned anything
same.
nicely. Yeah. So I reached out to her again because I was picking up the poop. I was, spraying essential oils all over the tree. And I was like, "Hey, do you have time to get rid of a raccoon?" And she was like, I was like, "I don't think it has fleas, but I just know." And she did 24 hours later, and it
All
hasn't
right.
been
What's
back.
your communicator's name?
Holly Jacobs.
Okay.
the pet ex I guess that you wouldn't call it the exterminator.
Listen, like
Relocator.
I'm okay if the
Relocator.
possums go live in my back acreage where there's no pastures, but like they just need to stay south of
Okay.
the farm.
No hay.
Yeah.
No possum hay.
I
No
don't think I
no
can
possum
handle a farm.
pastures. But
Yeah.
it's also other critters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole nother for yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I even
Mm.
Mary, I had my barn cat tested for toxoplasmosis, and she was negative. So I was like, oh, good.
I'm treating my water with no sods, but
Do you have a toxoplasmosis noso?
no, it's the herpes EPM one that I'm using.
Oh,
The
yeah, or
toxoplasmosis.
because that is the new EPM.
Awesome. We're gonna have to talk about that. I don't know this
From
yet.
cats. Yeah, cats carry toxoplasmosis, which creates EPM in horses. It's a protozoa. Yeah.
I
Jenny's
know
like,
it's a I know it's a problem for pregnant women, but
yeah, it's a big problem with horses. It makes them
wow.
lethargic. Yeah, and toxoplasmosis is such a weird disease. I was nervous that my cat got it because they they thrive on fear. They like to put themselves in life-threatening condition. And
Mm.
she was laying in like by my barn, and all these birds were circling her like buzzards, and they were gonna come and eat her, and she just stayed there. I was like, oh my God, kitten, you must move. Do you not see them? Or are you like drawing them in? Or what are you doing here, girl? So I worried that she had toxoplasmosis because she was tempting fate. But that's a characteristic of it.
Where do
Oh
you
my
get the
gosh.
nosodes for that, Poppy?
I've talked to Jessica about it, and she does not have it. So
Okay.
she said she would go down that road and look for it. I can jar her memory on that.
Yeah, if you would.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I will just add that to the water too. We'll just
Yeah.
deal
Why not?
everybody to health.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So Jenny, you have done a lot of different things. You've done hair mineral testing. You have done fecal microbiome transfers or no?
Well, yeah, not rectally, but like
Oral.
through pills. Yeah.
And what do you think was a waste of your money, and what do you think was like amazing?
Um, I think the biggest waste of money was buying supplements from ads or buying supplements because I heard about it on a webinar or something and not buying a supplement that Charlie or Trig's body needed. And that's what I learned from Pam. Like rather than having a supplement graveyard, like test, don't guess. Um, so that's like the pendulum thing for me has probably been like the last 8 months or so, but it's like so valuable. Um, and I still am learning, like I still can make mistakes with it. So that that's been huge. But homeopathy is the biggest, like, whoa, that's some crazy ass shit right there. That just totally turned him around.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
total game changer. I have a homeopath from India, and I was hitting a really bad point in my life, immune wise. I'm missing 3 organs. And so I was having a hard time like coming out of some immune compromised situations. And she put me on carcinosum and I popped right out of it. Like night and day difference with 1 or 2 doses. And it was a 12C every day for a month. And I couldn't wait to take it. I was like, is it time yet? Because it gave me my life back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I have not had as much success with me in homeopathy.
It's hard to find a legit homeopath. That's why I went to India.
Yeah, and I still need to try out your girl. Like I've worked with Jeff, like mostly with menopause stuff. For me, hair loss is one of my biggest ones right now. Like I done. Stop losing hair, okay? It's unnecessary stress at this point. Um, so one time I did have a cold and I used the pendulum because I coach high school field hockey and we were going on a trip to St. Louis and I was like I cannot stay home and I cannot also get everybody sick on the team.
Yeah.
So I went to town with homeopathy and that was the only time that it like really helped me. I mean arnica, like today I whacked my head on God. I was changing a light bulb and I was like getting up on my kitchen counter to get up to the ceiling and just whacked it on my towel holder and I was like, where you're just like you like want to stomp your foot and like say every cuss word that you can think of and I was like and I got out Adored Beast, your go-to, and I sprayed the hell out of my head and it doesn't even hurt. Like I didn't get a headache. I like
That's
there's no
amazing.
bruise feeling, like there's nothing. And I'm like, damn, that is so amazing.
That is amazing. I
Yeah.
would have thought about it using it topically, but why not?
Yes, I did spray some in my mouth, but then I went to town on my head.
Yeah, no, I use Ledum topically. I use
Mm,
calendula homeopathic topically. They all work amazing.
yeah.
So
Huh.
why not?
Yeah. Um,
Calendula homeopathic, if you get like a cut or anything, if you just pack the little pellet in the wound, you can like literally watch the granulation.
huh,
It just
that's awesome.
it's so fun. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, I hurt myself.
Yes. Yes. Huh. That reminds me of a story that Julian Lee of Adored Beast Apothecary told me. Her homeopathy story reminds me of Eat, Pray, Love. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
heard her story?
so. I've had
Like,
her on as a guest years ago, but
okay. Like she, like went to Spain and then like that was her first exposure and then she went to England and then she ends up in India. And like India, they're like, whatever, have some coffee, pick that pellet up off the floor and eat it, doesn't matter. Um, so but it's so fun to hear her story because it sounds like Sarah Gilbert or is it Sarah? What
I don't
shoot.
know.
Doesn't matter. It sounds like Eat, Pray, Love to me. And she talked about some story of a like healing a dog that like was so dehydrated she took her own saliva to get the pellet like attached to its gum and the dog turned around and then like she had a boyfriend whose teeth went backwards in its mouth and yeah I mean just crazy
Wow.
stories and doctors asking what did you do and then the doctor saying well unfortunately even if I knew how to do that I couldn't have done that because then I would have gotten sued and I'm like oh my god um so
Yeah, homeopathy is always under attack. And Dr. Pitcairn was like, since the beginning, it started to be under attack. He goes, when has it never been under attack? I'm like,
yes yeah. That's one of the things I thought about wanting to talk about too is mentioning Pitcairn because there are so many philosophies around homeopathy and like and also so many like you have to do it right like it's abusing it if you're not and all of that kind of stuff and in general like when I was feeding raw everything if you put limitations on me and don't let me follow like my intuitive sense then it just creates anxiety, bad vibrational energy, and then I get bad results as well. So I think that's also one of the biggest lessons that I've learned through all of this is I can't I can't say that I know what the hell I'm talking about with homeopathy, but I've learned that there are lots of different ways to approach it.
Right.
And
And
even,
that's what I always say is the reason why I went to homeopathic school is I talked to a bunch of different homeopaths and they all give me a different answer. And I was like, what is happening? And then I realized like that's kind of the norm. Like everybody has their way of doing things and
yes.
works as long as it works, that's all that matters. But I also believe that you could take one modality and use it on 100 different animals, and some animals will really respond to it and other animals nothing. So you have to search for what matches that vibration,
Hmm.
what's going to work. So essential oils might be great for one animal and the other animal is running backwards or vomiting from it or something really violent. Like you just have to be resilient and try things not just because somebody recommended it on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And it is true. Like I I started Charlie on some kidney thing because he was diagnosed with kidney disease last year, the same day that I was told that Trig was niptic. And I was like, okay, can't handle the kidney thing now. I got to figure out why my cat's jaundiced. So I ended up, giving him like standard kidney stuff, and I've come to find out that like it's not what he needed. Like he got kidney support today. The pendulum swung to that, but it hadn't swung to anything kidney related for like 8 days. So
Yeah.
yeah, and learning like his body and what his body needs, it's amazing. But even after like, I totally trusted Jeff Johnson and I still do, but he I said let's start working on his kidneys now. So he recommended Merck Soul, and it was 200C, and it caused a
A
like
healing
a
crisis.
night, yes, but it was way too much, way too fast. And I talked to the animal communicator about it, and she's like, you're being reminded that Charlie's body is super sensitive, and he needs a lot slower approach. And I was like, you'd think I'd learned that by now, but I haven't.
The blue-eyed cats on top of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's always different with your cats.
yes.
And
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 I
as a
think,
as a practitioner, for me, like just trying different things, um, just for me, some things vibe with me and some things don't vibe with me. So
yeah,
regardless of what the animal responds to, as me as the host of the modality, I might be really good at a few things, but I might not be great at some other things, even though I've tried it and studied it, and I'd be like, toss it. It's not my jam.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And well, I mean, that even goes like maybe like one practitioner is good to work on Charlie, but another one is better to work on Trig. Like I've thought about that in retrospect as well. Um,
I think that's a great point because if, well, one thing, I'll get numb if I'm working on a client over and over and over again. I'll get like, I won't see my cases with fresh eyes. Like, I have to remind myself, whatever you're doing is not working. You need to look at it with fresh eyes. You need to restart and you need to pretend you don't know this animal at all because
yeah,
you can get totally numb to the case and frustrated and forget what you're doing.
yes,
Yeah. And I think you suffered some of that with some other practitioners where they just like, Jenny, why are you calling me back? Like, what's happening?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and yeah, one of the things that I learned was like try to look at it from 30,000 feet, but when you're on the ground in the trenches, you don't know who to reach out to, and so you just keep going back to that same person.
I find it's harder for me with my own animals, right? Poppy, I've had multiple horses through our barn who I've healed from things that I'm struggling with my own horses. And also intuition with my own animals or family. It's like my cognition gets in the way, right?
Mm.
So I sometimes because I also use a pendulum to test. I don't do it every other day. Whew, girl. I do it once a week for Brayson, though, let me tell you. And probably once every 2 weeks for Forrest. And then less frequently for my other animals. Those are my two highest needs right now. But um, I sometimes will ask the pendulum twice the same question to be sure it wasn't my thought process getting in the way of, the swing.
Do you guys
Yeah.
clean your pendulums? This
I
is
rinse with cold water and I'll sometimes put out in um on a full moon night. Yep.
I rub mine in Epsom salts every 24 hours.
Yeah, I've had a chiropractor use one on me, and I was like, dude, your pendulum's lying. I'm like, you need to arm strength test me because that sucker is not telling the truth. And it was true. When I made him arm strength test, all the answers were different. And I was like, do you ever clean that thing? Like, do you just from patient to patient? And it's
Yeah.
like capturing them.
My all my pendulums have some kind of crystal or stone, and so I try to get them outside as often as I can. Um, have you ever noticed for me muscle testing? Others can use it with me effectively. I can't do it on others for some reason.
Are you an addict?
What do you
Are you an
mean?
alcoholic, Mary?
I am not an alcoholic, Poppy.
That's why I'm saying it out loud. So sometimes you need to reset yourself by like rubbing your heart and your brain and
Okay.
maybe even your belly button. I go through a prayer process where I pray the intention of the answers that I want. And then I do a sealing prayer at the end and I make sure I go back to myself. I'm 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 supposed to make sure. Sometimes my technique's a little sloppy, but I noticed I when I do teach it, I started teaching it a little bit because so many techniques are sloppy.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think people get in trouble with their muscle testing. So I
Got
have
it.
a pretty strict format.
Poppy's really good with the prayers, and I think that that's really important.
Pet prayers, I think, are really important. I think it really makes a difference, and I think it makes a difference for the owners. Yeah.
Yeah. I say a prayer before I use my pendulum.
I'm so proud of you, Jenny.
Thanks, Poppy.
Yay!
I should say a prayer when I end. I'm usually like, thanks, gotta go, bye. Um,
I mean, you're doing it every 48 hours. It's okay. The guides
no,
will give you some
You're doing
reprieve.
it twice a day, right?
I do it twice a day.
Oh
Yeah.
It's
God.
and Charlie's meowing
They're okay
tonight
with
means
that.
means I'll be doing it 3 times today because of his meowing tonight.
I
So
used to muscle test myself, my horses, and my dog every day. And then finally I was like, I'm exhausted. I have to like back off. But I got to a place where I felt like I was good, solid.
yeah, once we get through this pollen season, I should be able to back off a little bit, but I still think he's going through some sort of healing crisis. So lucky me.
Ask more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So muscle testing and dowsing, is that what you call the
Yes, the
crystal?
pendulum is dowsing.
Potentially. So
Oh,
um you want to be like really specific on your questions, right? So if
yeah.
you don't ask the right questions, you don't get the right answers. And it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
only limited to you asking the questions, and it's a very legal system.
Yeah. If my pendulum, if I didn't ask the right question or I wasn't specific enough, it's not really bouncing, but it just sits in the middle and kind of goes, it won't spin. It just bounces is what I call it.
That's same with the arm strength testing or muscle testing, it'll wobble when it has a conversation like you need to go deeper. You're like almost to the topic you need to ask. So it tries to guide you. It's like keep going in that. Yeah.
Huh.
Jenny, have you noticed when you dose, like there are times where you'll get a yes, but it's a small, it's like it's going in the right direction, but it's small. But then there's like the holy shit, that's a yes. Isn't that
Yes,
wild?
it
Like
is
that, I
so
don't know
wild.
the discernment of, because I mean, yes, you need this thing at this time. And then the big yes, you need this thing at this time. I mean, obviously you need it most and more, but it's just interesting when it does that.
It is interesting, especially when you're like, okay, weird, why? Like that's not a big deal. And like it,
Right.
yeah.
It was chia seeds for Brayson this week. Like
Huh.
big yes.
Huh.
I
That's
just
fascinating.
seeded my pasture and I put chia out.
Super fun. My wash rack was growing a chia pet because we rinsed the buckets, in the
Oh,
washer.
that's pretty awesome.
It's awesome. Mm.
That's fun. It's amazing how that works. And when I learned muscle testing, I was mentored by a human researcher, doctor, um, actually a scientific journal author. And and the I kept asking him, I'm like, who knows these answers? Like, he's like, it's your body. I'm like, my body, it does not know these answers. And he's like, no, it's your body. I'm like, I don't think so. Like, it boggled my mind. I was,
Well, at an energetic, I just was having this conversation earlier today. Like at an energetic level, what percentage of our brain do we really use, right? Like there's so much untapped. I do believe we know, and just like our animals know. So Forrest, the other day, I have milk thistle out in my pasture, and I never wear gloves to pull it, so it's
oh,
dried out and it's hanging out there, and he was chomping it down, Poppy, and so I put milk thistle seeds in his food, but like just like our horses select, our bodies know. We just don't open to that. I do believe that. I think we have a lot of untapped knowledge and reverberation at an energetic level that we don't, life clouds it.
well, and
Hmm.
I do a cat charcuterie board sometimes for my cat with different herbs, like dried herbs. So I'll do the food in the middle and then I'll do the dried herbs, different dried herbs
It's
on the
fun.
outside, and she'll pick whichever ones she wants.
Poppy, that is like a TikTok waiting to be made.
Kitty charcuterie,
Yes.
a
Love
kitty
it.
charcuterie board.
Seriously.
My horses get to pick their herbs and their oils when I pull it out. I'll pull out my oils and they'll tell me which ones they want.
Mm,
Or
that's
they'll get
awesome.
annoyed with me like the fifth one that I try and they're like, "Yeah, not tonight. I'm not doing any of them." I'm like, "Okay, got it." But yeah, they'll lip and mouth the ones they want and it changes.
Yeah,
It's
Mm,
interesting.
that's fun.
it is fun.
I
And
love self-selection.
yeah, I would love to interview, who is it, Ingram? Zoo pharmacological. Have you talked to her? The zoo pharmacology cognology.
Now it's you with the words. Don't hurt yourself. That's what you say.
I know. I'm rubbing off on my
Whenever I
like,
share a homeopathy, like when I say a I can't even say
don't hurt yourself.
I say a homeopathic name, Poppy's like, don't hurt yourself. I mean, Fuchsia and Arnica. Got it. That's about it.
Oh my god.
Isn't it? I like a couple of girls this season having like hit in the face with a stick or a ball or whatever, and I'm like, you guys just put arnica gel on it, and they're like, what's that? And I'm like, oh right, it isn't common knowledge to know what the hell that is, and
Weird.
that's so sad.
It is sad.
Yeah,
Everybody should know about it. It's so easy and it's like right there in your face at the health food store. Which
yeah.
is so funny because I'll be like, hey, do you know Sprouts Farmers Market? Yeah, I go there all the time. I always buy my supplements there. I'm like, you can buy homeopathy there. They're like, you can? I'm like, the display is right in front of your face. Like
Yeah,
you'll never miss it once you realize what it is.
yeah,
Not lipstick.
yeah. It's sad. It's sad though, because yeah, that where's the Advil? Where's the ibuprofen? Like, not, yeah, it's too bad. And then that tears up your stomach, and yeah, I just, ugh.
So, Jenny, what I love about you is you tried to do according to what everybody preaches in the holistic cat care industry, and your cats weren't following that. Like you were buying Viva Raw, you were getting all these different foods,
Oh,
you were like beating yourself up and spending an absolute fortune and PTSD on top of that, and being a hostage to your cat's situation. And you just had to do what you had to do to make it work. You didn't subscribe to must feed Rob, must do this, must do that. Like
yeah,
every cat's an individual. You have to get food down them.
yeah. I think, yeah. I I definitely ended up like getting suckered almost like into the beginning of this conversation, getting suckered into like how many views and how many comments on my videos. I got suckered into like, oh, you can't feed can, or you can't have, feed a food with chickpeas in it, like all of that kind of stuff. And then it like the stress that mounts because you can't get your cat to freaking eat is so awful. And I think finally when I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. Like, I just want you to eat. And if it means we have 6 months less with one another, so be it. But at least the 6 months that we had were pleasant and nice. So I think that that's kind of where I am now. Would I love for Charlie to be on Raw? Yes. Yes. Will it happen again in his lifetime? Probably not. But maybe.
Yeah.
I asked the animal communicator a couple of weeks ago about that, and she's like, not yet.
Yeah.
So it's still in, but like his coat was better, but he's doing great. Like he's actually finishing 2.5 cans of food a day now, whereas I was like struggling to get him to eat one. So this is after the Merc Soul horror. Like that probably took like 6 weeks to get through him, like whatever the hell I caused there with that.
And you guys,
Now,
I'm going to say, if you ever have a massive healing crisis, you can just take any essential oil with camphor, menthol, or coffee beans and wave it in front of your animal's nose, let them smell it, and it'll soften a healing crisis.
it will soften it, not end it.
No, it won't end it, but it'll soften the blow. It'll
Okay.
antidote, it'll antidote the remedy, and it'll allow your animal to recover. So it'll be
Okay.
more manageable.
Yeah. Man. But anyway, it's I mean, I would have never thought that. And also looking back at my like the kidney cats that I have had, I'm like, wow, you guys probably didn't have the problems that you had. But I treated them as if I treated you as you did, because I would have never thought Charlie would be eating full bowls of food ever again. Because I just thought he had that like kidney nausea problem. And it wasn't. It was freaking liver
It
flues.
was a lot of liver flukes. It was his
Oh my
liver.
God.
He had it
Yeah,
stacked. He had a party going on in his liver.
he did. He
So
did.
nasty. Oh
Well,
Poor
my
Charlie.
your journey, her journey with her cats sounds a lot like my journey with my horses, Poppy.
all of
Mm.
us, right?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh, and my
goodness.
puppy too, but my puppy I've gotten well. He came to me with, the worst dysbiosis I've ever seen, all the things. We obviously not here for that, but each animal teaches us, but the horses have me circular. Although you all have reminded me to I need to break out my kelp carb for Brayson. I don't know why I didn't think of that when he started to have these issues again, Poppy, but there it is once again, his constitutional.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mm,
And
mm.
you can dowse or muscle test or whatever your
Yeah, whatever we
modality,
do.
whatever your modality
Whatever us
is.
addicts do.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, right? It's like no wonder why I can't find a date.
Uh,
Is
yeah.
Mary, do you like, is it hard though? Like I can't answer like normal people's questions now. Like my cat has diarrhea and I'm like, "Oh, well, like there's so many questions. It's not like in the past I would have been like, "Oh, try pumpkin."
Yeah.
Now I'm
You
like,
have to
well,
ask
what?
more questions, right? Like
Yeah.
that's because when we learn more, then you have different reasons. Yes, I've found that because I have a lot of friends, right, that are never going to go to a consultant, but I want their animal healthy. So I give advice, but I have to ask a lot of questions. The thing I find hard, and Poppy, this has to be hard for you as a somebody who does consulting, is like when people add medication or add something and they didn't tell you and you're like, oh shit, you just backed us up like 4 weeks in what we were doing. But okay. So starting
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
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 So the Facebook reply thing. I've been admins in some big Facebook groups, and I ended up like being silent in the groups because I'm just like, I need more information.
Yes.
I need to take the case. I need to understand who your pet really is, because I could give you a short answer, but it may not be the right answer. And
Mm.
so I want to understand more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. I noticed you're on this group that somebody told me to join the other day, which I'm not loving the group. And I noticed you replied to something. Someone said Poppy, and I was like, oh, Poppy's on this group. But I haven't seen you other than that one reply because it's you can't blanket answer. And there is no one thing, one path for these animals, for humans or animals, in my opinion. So you know what I do find? I mean, the most typical stuff with our dogs, and I haven't done it with cats, but you're inspiring me to think about this because I have done FMTs with our dog to reset his gut. So I found often, like I just helped a friend of mine who doesn't have much to spend on her pup, but it was clear it was dysbiosis and causing the dog to have other issues behaviorally, etc along with the diarrhea, right? I asked more questions, Jenny, and that was the picture I got. I have found putting them on Espelardi with the FOS. I just suggest the animal biome. I think there's another one that
I just use the human one, the Jaro.
the okay. And
Uh,
so I just suggest it because that's what I knew, and then start them on that for 2 weeks, and then do an FMT for 30 days. Starting slow so we don't have bad fallback, but and it's changed that dog's life. And over, that has been a great answer for many pets that are out there that are generally healthy, but they have a terrible gut because of what we feed them.
I
So,
Yes.
started
Yes.
taking Acromantia. Are you guys?
Pendulum.
No, it's
Oh, like Halle Berry's pendulum acromantia.
oh
Anyway.
yeah, I don't take hers, but I
Okay.
just I just
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
taking it. And the first time I took it, you take it at night because it's supposed to work on the mucus lining in your stomach. My blood vessels were buzzing. I couldn't sleep all night. I was like this. I'm like,
huh.
everything's tingling inside my veins. I
Hey, I'm just
I
letting you know. I put this in the comments. If I fall off, it's because my phone's dying and I didn't feel like sitting down and plugging it in. So,
no worries.
no problem.
Jenny probably needs to go. So, Jenny,
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Um,
how do you want to, any wisdom you want to impart on cat lovers that are wanting to do the best for their cats and not be held hostage?
no, I mean, I wish I had like one set thing. I think one of the things that we get away from, I'm talking to a girl right now on Instagram, is just like knowing and listening to our own intuition. And it comes back to what I was saying about like look at it from 30,000 feet. Because I think like when you're in the trenches, you can't like get out of them. You don't know how to like you just want to win the battle. And so like going for a walk and just being like, all right, I can't figure this out right now. I'm gonna go for a walk. Sometimes like that will give you the answer. Um, and I
That's
don't know
very
if like
true.
all the testing is accurate or like you'd asked me what I had wasted money on. Like if I could go back and do it all over again, I would have started working with Pam a lot sooner. Um, did Pam have all the answers? No. But we get a great base with her? Yes.
Yeah.
Like
And we've had Pam
superb
on
base.
live here in this group. She's great.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
yeah, saved
So if
my
you guys
ass.
don't know Pam, it's Purrr, thickly holistic. Yeah. And
Yeah.
she has a little online um, she does a Facebook Live every week, I think, and
Mm,
a radio show or something like that, and then it has a website with a store and consultation.
yeah. She
Yeah,
does energy work, which is amazing.
and muscle
Um,
testing.
I had written down, I'll just make sure that I didn't forget anything. Don't worry about being perfect is what, like, that goes back to the whole food thing. Like, I was stressing myself out about that. And then I'm like, you know what? I forgot how easy it is to pop open a can and dump it in a bowl and add some water. That's some
Call it a
easy ass
day.
shit. Yeah. Um, like find someone who muscle tests or douses. I don't think of it as that, but yeah. I mean, literally like otherwise it's like throwing crap at the wind to see, if it will stick.
Right.
Um, energy work is amazing and your vibrational energy matters. Like I think I was nervous about this, like thinking like what am I going to say? That's what's going to come out of that mouth. We never know. And I wonder if that's what caused Charlie to be a little stir crazy.
I was worried about that, actually,
Yeah.
Jenny. So that's
Yeah.
why I did a little prayer for us.
Um, so yeah, I think that's my main stuff. There's
Great.
that gal on Instagram that I'm talking to right now. She found an old video of me like, mixing Alnutrin and she had all these questions and she's like, well, I bought this and I bought that and I bought this. And I'm like, stop. Go talk to Pam. Just stop spending money right now. And then you'll have a guide and like, yeah, you'll know what to do. And it sucks that you always learn these lessons when it's like a crisis and you can't just learn it in a nice, calm way. I feel like I have with Charlie with this kidney situation, but with Trig and Camus, it was just like absolute horror.
I have a really weird story to tell you because I think there's a cat conspiracy. Okay. So one of my clients calls me and sends me their blood work and urine analysis. I'm like, did your vet tell you that your dog might be in kidney failure? And she's like, oh, they think he has a UTI or something. I'm like, oh, that's like I can't diagnose, but this looks really bad. I'm like, what are you feeding the dog? And she goes, cat food.
I think you might have told me this,
And I was
but keep
like,
going.
yeah. And I was like, whoa, wait, is cat food giving cats kidney failure?
Oh.
Because this dog did
Was it
eventually,
kibble or was it wet?
it was like Fancy Feast or something.
Oh.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it was
Well, but
like
also
a version of Little Caesars with cats on it. What is that?
I don't know. But I mean,
Whiskas, I
also
think.
cat,
Whiskey.
if
Yeah.
if it's balanced for a cat, it's going to be a very different diet than for a dog anyway.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, that dog did end up passing last like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, it just made me start thinking that maybe cat food companies, because they're owned by veterinarians often,
Mm.
or like Mars and Nestle and all of that, like there's this kitty conspiracy to create cat feline issues. And there's just too much kidney issues in cats. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, well, they think it's because of the vaccines and like growing on kidney cells. That's why when Merck's Soul came about, I was like, damn.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because Charlie got them all for 11 years.
Girl.
That's why I have a meowing maniac now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I'm grateful for my vet, even though he's like a general practitioner. He's totally on board with titering and
That's so cool.
he's reasonable. In fact, when we got our puppy, he looked at the records and I was coming in for what I thought was going to be like a booster because I don't know. I was puppy exhausted, so I hadn't paid attention very closely. And he looked at me, he was like, nope, he's not getting anything today. He has been over vaccinated already.
Okay.
And
That's so cool.
yeah, like he was like, nope, you're good. Let's just do a well check. And,
That's awesome.
which I love that because then, he didn't make as much on that visit. And yeah, anyway, I'm
It's
grateful for
awesome.
him. And when he doesn't have the answer, he's happy to have me consult with specialists. Like I've done consultations with Dr. Kojer and Dr. Kangas for our dog, and my vet is happy to run all the diagnostics, happy to,
That's so
you know,
great. I
follow
love
the
it.
lead of
I
them.
love it when vets can work together.
And it doesn't happen
All
very
the
often.
practitioners, like vets and I work together. I have some vets that I work with that it's just so refreshing that we can all collaborate and not hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and left without that support, he will still use the tools he will use, which is Tylen and other things, right, Poppy? But he was more than happy to try all the things that I was going to do instead. And he's thrilled with what we've done for Francis. So, because I mean, we were going on the path of like Addison's, thyroid, we were testing for everything, you know?
We are going to have Peter on with Dr. Margot Roman to talk about Plaquenil syndrome.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that'll
Peter, is that the cute Irish guy?
Peter Shankarelli.
Oh, no. That's oh my gosh, I can't think of
Who's
his
the
dog's
cute
name.
Irish? Oh, that's Connor.
Yeah.
Connor Brady.
Connor Brady. Yeah, he's good
I'll
looking.
send them this video for you.
Thanks. Isn't he married? That's great.
Now,
Send
now
it
the
to his
cat's going to
wife.
start screaming in the background right now because her anxiety just went up again.
No, that actually doesn't increase my anxiety.
He's actually like 6'5", Connor is.
That would be, yeah, another reason for me to be more attracted to him, Pet and Poppy. So
I just
that's
wanted
great.
you to know that.
Yeah, well, and then you add the accent, like, yeah, it's a winning combo. Well done.
Maybe he has a brother or a father. I don't know. He's 50. Maybe he has a younger brother.
Well, I'm 46. That could work, but no, I think he's married.
He's married.
Yeah, that's what
It
Poppy
is
was
cool though to
thinking.
have our current vet, the one that we switched to. She's the one that said this cat has hypersesia, no more vaccines. And I was like, really? Really? You're okay with that? And she was like, yeah, I'm fine
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
So it's just like in breaking away from that, like, that 20-year relationship that you had like trust in, and it's so hard to do that. And so many people don't see that. I mean, I just had a reader write me the other day say her cat was in early stage kidney failure and that their vet suggested a Purina kidney diet was dry food.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, I don't even know, like, run. Like any veterinarian that would recommend a dry food diet. I don't care about the manufacturer, but
Yeah,
a dry food diet for a kidney cat, like what in the hell?
Next week we have Kelly Bone on as our guest, and we're gonna talk about tainted cat and dog food and stuff like that because she is the queen of pet food contamination and how.
Well, and in cats, there's lots of vets in the integrative space now that are reversing, what's it called? Just taking them off the dry food, right?
Yeah.
Oh, diabetes.
Yeah.
Thyroid disorder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We reversed my aunt's cat. He was diabetic and she went to all wet food.
Yep,
She actually
diabetes.
almost
That's kind of
killed
like
him.
birth control for cats. Like
Yeah.
that's why I think it's a kitty conspiracy. I think the cat food's
Now, in full disclosure, we do have dry food out in the barn because, I can't keep wet food around. I'll have every rodent in the. They do get wet food every night, but
So I was trying to do raw.
I feel like that's why the possums are there.
Right. I was
it's all
trying
the
to do
things.
raw with my cat and it was attracting vermin.
Yeah, I mean, I do a kibble with but it's like well, actually not kibble, it's freeze dried. But
I do a freeze dried raw with goat
Brabbles
milk.
is what I do. Which one do you do?
She looks amazing on Primal, which a lot of people don't like Primal, but she looks amazing on it. So I'll cycle through a lot of different dehydrated, freeze-dried cat foods. And because after a while she gets bored.
I just didn't know which other ones to try. I like Rabbles quite decently, like easy to get my hands on. Because the other thing is, it's not just my barn cats. We have so many stray cats that show up in the barn, so it gets eaten fast, right? Now
Yeah, I think I'm feeding like 5.
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
And
Mary,
then
what do you do for flea control?
me.
You really want my honest answer?
Topicals?
Yeah, I do Revolution for the kitties, and I do Frontline for my pup. Now, they all get a break when the weather, gets because I'm in Michigan. But yeah, when I heard you talking about fleas, like, and I hear you, your cat you had a bad reaction, so you can't do it. I worked with well, an integrative vet because I don't want to say words that someone else told me, but on a farm, I have ticks like crazy in Michigan,
Yeah.
and fleas. And she said to me, "Look, you're kind of having to pick your poison here." So she suggested Frontline for the dog, and Revolution for the cat. She said those are the two topicals that seem to have the least amount of
Yes.
negative reaction. Now, if I had a negative reaction, I'd have to figure something else out, right? But they all get a break and they all get milk thistle tincture a couple of times throughout the year. They get some things to like detox as well, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah, good. Revolution is what caused it on Charlie, but
yeah.
um I didn't have the liver support, so I yeah.
I don't use anything. My cat doesn't have fleas.
Yeah, you're lucky.
I she
I
likes stuff.
just because of the strays that come around and all the things, Poppy. Yeah. uh, I don't know.
Yeah, healthy animals seem to
Ticks.
attract less fleas on the
Yeah,
whole. The vibration and the carbon dioxide, all of that.
sure. That
So
that would be true all around. Less fleas, less EPM, less all the things, right?
less flies.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
the trouble is ticks in Michigan. I don't know that any vibration keeps them away. It's horrible.
Neem's really harsh on ticks.
So like a neem bath or something or
Yeah, you could use powder on cats. You can't use oil that I know of. What do you think, Jenny? Can you use neem on cats?
Yeah, there's a product that Dr. Judy sells, Buck Buck Mountain Parasite Dust, I think it's called. It's got
But it's
neem, yarrow,
powder.
and DE in it, yeah.
Yeah. So the neem powder versus the neem oil. And I have neem powder, but I've never had to use it on her. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't blame you for the topicals at all, Mary. That sucked to have that neurological response.
Yeah.
And actually he has that anytime he has a histamine reaction now. So it's kind of a good indicator, like if he has a flea, he'll have that, or if he has too many outdoor pollens, his head just goes like this, like
Yeah.
a bobblehead. Oh, she must have gotten off because
Her
her
phone
battery must have
died.
finally died.
Yeah. Right on. Jenny, thank you for your time and your wisdom. And we feel your pain in regards to this. And hopefully, hopefully it's all getting easier and easier.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and I feel like my next generation of cats, like, I'll have a good fresh start and have so much knowledge. Like, even if I have to resort to topical, I'll know to give, the other support with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you do have a bad reaction, you can use charcoal and suck it out topically, like powder it on them.
Oh,
And it sucks it out of the skin, the dermal transmission.
hmm,
It
that makes
works
sense.
so good.
Yeah.
They step in anything poison. I just put charcoal in a little Ziploc bag and tap their feet in it and suck their
Oh, huh,
poison out.
that's smart. I actually learned today in a group that if you want to put DE on your cat, like right now, I think it was Dr. Judy that taught me to like put it on like a powder puff, like that you would like put blush on your face. So I just have like a powder puff that I keep in a jar with diatomaceous earth and like tap it and then put it on Charlie before he goes outside. But somebody was talking about how you can put it in a sock and just rub the sock on them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if charcoal would repel fleas.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I
I
do,
don't know.
I mean, I buy bulk neem powder.
Hmm.
Oh, that might be something. It does deworm too.
I
So
know.
if they lick themselves, they're deworming themselves.
Yeah. He's gotten a full dose this summer, which Which I'm like, maybe that was a liver fluke, but I don't think so, just because it was like too timed up with the homeopathic. But um, yeah. But I think the thuya and the was it silica or something that's in the rebalancer? Is it rebalancer?
Yes. So if
Um,
you guys don't know Rebalancer, that's the vaccine detox product of Julianne Lee's. It used to be called anti-vax,
mhm.
and she had to change it. So that's the new name for it. So it is, I think, aconite, thuja, and silica. Maybe not aconite.
I don't think aconite's in it. I think it's just the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And I personally love Ledum because the needle goes in and out. So Ledum's for any puncture and insult that shocks the nervous system.
oh,
And
I use Letum on mosquito bites all the time, so
yeah, and I've used Ledum on old sutures. So
mm.
give it to the animal and those old scar tissues shrink and look amazing. Like no scarring.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's super cool.
Huh. That is really cool.
Yeah. Even
And you
like
don't
even if it's like 10 years ago.
hmm.
Like this dog had surgery, he had a rectal resection. Yeah, he had a prolapsed rectum.
Mm.
And so the scar looks horrible. And so I was thinking about slipping some pellets in his mouth. And we'll see how
You need to find the remedy to get him to stop attacking other animals.
he's been pretty good this week.
Oh,
So
sorry.
he
No,
got
I'll knock wood.
he got loose by accident and didn't attack any of my animals. Maybe he did because I was down in the barn cleaning stalls and stuff, and he shows up like, "Hey, I need a drink of water." I'm like, "How long you been out?" But he didn't bark and he didn't cause a ruckus and he didn't poke his
Cool.
head out. So
Oh.
because he buries his head in bushes trying to find lizards and stuff. I've actually had to pull him out of a bush from his abdomen because he's like, and he couldn't get out himself.
Oh.
Like, what about?
Oh.
But anyway, Jenny, you rock. We love you. Thank you for
Same,
being live with
same. Thank you for having me. Hopefully it was beneficial to somebody.
us. Our random idle chat.
Yeah.
You guys deworm your raw fed cats. The moral of the story.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Thank you. Good
Hasta.
to see you. All right.
My Spanish. There you go.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Orderly.
Bye, Bobby. Thank you.
People